What's up, Melissa? I see you. You said the thumbnail look clean. Yes, sir. It's pretty clean. But you know how after you make something, you kind of really not sure. Like, is it cool? Is it not cool? But it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. And I feel like it fits the vibe. Like, I felt like I wanted it to be pink or red or something light, you know. And I feel like I did what I could do on it. Let me post right quick and do Instagram. Yeah, I just wanted to give our streams a title, you know? That's all. But how was your day today? What you did? What you was up to? You still on break? I like it. It's different and feels fresh, yeah. And like I said earlier, it has purpose. You know, now you know. You might not know what we're going to talk about, but you know that you come in here for positivity. So at least there's that. Until August, hey, live it up. Live it up. Twitter. Let me go Discord. What else? I think that's it. Yeah. All right. The only thing about, you know, moving forward is that I don't know exactly how it's going to go because with music with music reactions, it's easy. You know, they're coming for that. But with this, it's all me. So it's going to take some time to build up upon the streams and, you know, gain new subscribers. It's going to be a little challenge, but I'm going to lock in. That's all right. What's up with you, Dan? I probably would have to start making like videos, like just straight up videos, because I've been posting shorts. I posted 2 shorts from our last stream. So I was thinking, you know, I cut up clips from here and make little shorts out of them. But other than that, we're just going to see. There's plenty of people who have a platform that only talk or they, you know, it's strictly their personality. So we'll see. I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. We're just going to do our thing. Because I've already gained, like a lot of y'all come all the time and a lot of y'all, we're already familiar. So it's whatever to me. Even if it's just y'all for the rest of it. I know y'all going to rock with your boy and just hang out. We just here for the vibes. Yeah, it makes sense, but just like the music reactions, I'm sure it will grow with time. Yeah. I just don't have nothing to attach myself to, so it's all me now. So, you know. So what type of topic are we talking about? Nothing in particular. Just I just wanted to change the title of the stream because when you see a stream and it says just chatting, it's kind of like, okay, but just chatting about what? Like, it's very broad. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call it Positivity Corner, meaning that you might not know what we're going to talk about. I don't even know what we're going to talk about, but you know, you come here for positive vibes. You come here to hang out with just kind people. That's why it's Positivity Corner. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I've been saying that over time. I've been like, man, these streams are like a little positive corner of the internet. Like, it's, you know, so that's where I got the name from, because that's what I've been saying. Because it is. It's like, you know, we don't do all that negativity in here. It's just good vibes. But let's start with this, Dan. How was your day today? I know it's like super late where you are, but how was your day today? Let's start with that. Yeah, I just want this to be a thing where we just hang out, you know, whatever. Just like if you go hang out at your friend's house, you don't really have nothing in mind that you want to say. I mean, sometimes you do, like, oh, you heard about that thing, but otherwise you just go and hang out. That's what I want this to be. We just hanging out. And that's all cool. What's up with you, Daniel? I see you. What you been up to today? What you did? How was your day today? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. And whenever, we just friends. Whatever I got on my mind, I'll say. Whatever y'all got on y'all mind, y'all will say. Just like regular conversation. Work, and then now just chilling. For sure. I got work tomorrow. I'll probably go back to the studio in a minute. Starting to get my money up. Probably go to the studio in a minute. You know. And like I already said about that, I want to be a Christian artist. And we already talked about it. It's not going to be corny. It's still going to be cool like how I do. But just my subject matter is going to be in the proper direction. Even though my music is not crazy. Like I don't have like a lot of curse. I don't have no cursing in my music or nothing crazy. But I just want to, I feel refreshed, reborn. Feel like I got new eyes, so I just want to make music from that new perspective. How's work been overall? I mean, nothing I'm not used to. I'm totally back in the groove of things like I was 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago the last time I worked there. I'm back in the groove of things. It's all regular. I don't hate it. It's actually kind of, sometimes, I don't want to say I like it, but sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world, because it's stocking. So it's kind of like organizing things. And I like being organized. So it's kind of like a fidget spinner or like a, I'm just filling in the gaps everywhere. It's kind of cool. But we'll see how long that lasts, because it's hard for me to just sit in one place for too long. I'm sure y'all have noticed that throughout this YouTube journey. I've done albums. I've stopped doing albums. I went back to I go back and forth and I move around so much. That's just how I am. I can't stay one place too long, or I start to just get bored. I feel like I'm not evolving. I feel you. I got bored doing one thing all the time. Yeah. I love organizing stuff like that. I organized files in my internship. It was fun at times. Yeah, like it's not really fun, but it kind of feels good to be just putting things in order. I like order. That's all. It's kind of satisfying. That's the proper word. And you're getting paid for it, so it's like, hey, we all good. I work with files too. Oh, okay. Y'all got anything on y'all mind that y'all want to talk about? Anything y'all seen recently, or anything that's like you want to conversate about? I know in the last stream somebody talked about, they had a crush on somebody in their class, and I wonder how that went. I want to say that was Toxic Bunny that talked about that. I could be wrong. Somebody talked about having a crush on somebody, so what's on y'all mind? I work for my family business. It's a funeral home. Could you ever be a mortician or something? Could you see yourself ever doing that? I feel like that's wild. I could never, that's, I can't do that one. I can't do no bodies and all of that. No, sir. I don't know, what do you have to be thinking to do that? I feel like that's crazy. I always wonder what it feels like to have a job at a funeral home. I feel like that's crazy. You gotta be, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't even feel right. But hey, somebody gotta do it. Somebody got to do it. One thing I found recently, it's unrelated, but hold on, let me say it. I'm used to it because I used to live next to it growing up. Yeah, like much respect, but I know it ain't for me. Yeah. Did y'all know that Justin Bieber had a Christian EP? I did not know that until recently. I'm like, hold on, it kind of sliding. It was sliding. I'm like, okay, Justin, I see you. I mean, I want to say I vaguely remember. Yeah, apparently it was 2 years ago. First I'm hearing about this, to be honest. Let me put it on and let's listen to something right quick. Well, I don't even need to put the headphones on. Yeah, it's only gonna be on for a second. But yeah, it was kind of sliding, not gonna lie. Now, since then, I think he's, put out music that's isn't quite Christian music. So it's kind of confusing. I don't know where he's at, but hey, at least we got these heaters. So hopefully he can shake back. Let me see which ones I want to do. Was this long ago? 2 years ago. Let me see which one.
Yeah, it's not easy growing up, you know. Only 2 years old, I was playing drums on the table. Guess I knew it was the only thing stable. When I was young, I could pick things up quick. Anything that I did, I was pretty good at it. Well, I started school, I was a troublemaker. Thought I knew everything in life, yeah, that caught up to me later. I had to learn about humility. I had to grow up and accept responsibility. Yeah, that wasn't easy, cause at 17 I had a milli. Women throwing themselves at me had me going silly. On the surface I felt like the man, but deep inside I felt deprived, just like an empty can. I've had everything in life that people strive for. Just to ask the question, what are we alive for? What you believe and what you agree with, what would you die for? Is there a reason? What is the meaning? What do we cry for? One thing I know is we're in this together. Together. Oh. One thing I know is we're in this together. Together. Oh. We're in this together. I moved out when I was 18. I was living in a mansion doing big things. FBI raided my house and was getting dicey. I was doing stupid to get people to like me. All that to say, I'm thankful that's not who I am. And I'm thankful God was with me when it hit the fan. Cause she's the reason that I'm still standing. And even in a pandemic, God is still planning. Planning peace, planning joy, planning another day. Gave his life up on the cross to wash the sins away. I've had everything in life that people strive for. Just to ask the question, what are we alive for? What you believe and what you agree with, what would you die for? Is there a reason? What is the meaning? What do we cry for? One thing I know is we're in this together. Together. Oh. One thing I know is we're in this together. Together. Oh. We're in this together. I pray for every single person listening.
All right, the outro is a prayer, but I'm like, Justin? Hold on. Then this one actually came out. This actually came out last year. So this is one song. And it's, it's just talking about appreciating the world or whatever. So he's having a positive change. But he also has like a song with like, I think Future and Don Toliver is kind of like, oh. So it was kind of confusing. I don't know, but all I do know is he gave me that. He gave me that. So yeah, I've really been trying to find some solid Christian songs. Not only Christian songs. Like I got some Alessia Cara in here, Jimmy Eat World, like positive songs. You know what I mean? But I also been trying to find some super fire Christian songs. And I feel like I got a couple. Maybe we'll talk about that a different day. I feel like I got a couple on me. He sound the same. I wouldn't guess it was 2 years ago. But see how that was cool? Like it wasn't like super forceful. I mean, there was a prayer at the end, but as far as the song part, it wasn't like crazy. But I don't listen to Justin's music. Okay. Have you heard how Justin and Post Malone's voices sound the same when raised and lowered? It's crazy. I did see that a while ago. I did see that. We're in this together. Yeah, I did see that. I can see you doing music like that. It sounds good. Yeah, for sure. I'm be locked in. And I think I want music to be my main thing. And this will be, at least for now, in my mind, this is how it's going to go. Music will be my main thing. And then I'll probably stream once or twice a week. That way, it'll be like, dang, I went through the whole week. Maybe it was a bad week. And I could come hang out with the homies, or something, for all of us. We could all just hang out at the end of the week or in the middle of the week, whenever I decide to stream. Like, I don't think I'm going to try to stream like 3 or 4 times or try to, go crazy. I'm going to just, when I feel like it's time to stream again, I'm going to stream again. Because to me, this now isn't really content. I mean, I can make it into content or whatever, but as far as clips, but the live experience, I just feel like, you don't go by your friend's house every day. You just go sometimes. So I'm going to come here sometimes. I feel like at least once a week though, but I might shoot for twice. Just to see what everybody up to, tap in with everybody. Let me see what other songs I can show y'all. Honestly, I'm excited to hear your music. Appreciate you. No. We're in this together. What else been going on recently? So yeah, I just found out about that Justin EP. And actually, I watched this video that, do y'all want to watch, there was this video I seen that pretty much, it was Justin's, like, journey with God kind of throughout his whole career. I never noticed that he talked about God all the time. And there was a point where he totally fell off from it and he came back to it, and but that was always like in him. Then I found out like his mom, she had always believed and she instilled that in him, and I feel like it was a cool little video. But it's up to y'all. Yeah, I feel like that was cool. We're in this together. And I'm starting to really notice how many celebrities are actually do believe in God. Like, I'm starting to notice that, and I'm like, oh, because a lot of times, people say it. You want to watch it? We can watch it. People say it, and like they don't really live like that. You know what I mean? So it's hard to tell, like, oh, you believe in God? Like, You know, so it's hard to kind of tell people apart. And that was my whole thing in the beginning with the music. Like, well, how can you say this, but then you dress like the devil? Like, it was confusing to me, so I was conflicted. So sometimes it's hard to see, but man, some people, I think everybody's journey is different, and the way God works, he works, you know, piece by piece. He doesn't always just grab you, and, you know, sometimes it's piece by piece with some people, you know. Let me check my history, actually, because I don't even know how I came across that. And it's together. Oh, here it goes. It says, Justin Bieber, Journey to Jesus.
His parents hired me to bring him out of his shell before college. We can go skinny dipping.
What about sharks?
What do you think Jesus would say to Justin?
I think he would say to him that he loves him, but like he thinks that he should be like maybe more godly, like because lately he hasn't been like the best role model, and since he's a Christian, he says that he needs to act like it too.
I think Jesus would say to Justin Bieber that he should be unashamed of being a Christian.
I think Jesus will say to Justin, you're a Christian and you can have fun, but it depends on what kind of fun you're having.
Hey, when I watched this part, I was like, dang, bro, like when children talk, it's like, it's a different effect, man. When the children telling you, you know, hey, man, you gotta shake back, man. You gotta come back home, and you gotta, it's like, what else can you say now? It's like, dang, bro. When the children start talking, it's something different. Listen to So Long Self by Mercy Me on your own time. I don't need a reaction. I think you'll like it. It talks about retiring your old wrong ways and living in a new mindset. Remind me of that in the Discord. Remind me of that in the Discord after this.
For me, what it took this whole transition to a new level is that I went through an uncomfortable phase. There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, you know, shrooms, everything. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. It would have been, yeah. I don't know if I'd be alive for sure.
Y'all can hear it good?
I think a lot of people with secure households learn at a young age. I never had that security in a family. I never had that consistency. I never had the reliability and the accountability and all these things that make you understand the way the world works. I was a good kid, but I was still like a shithead. I was bad in school. I was always a class clown. I never really respected authority like that. I was like a nice kid, but like coaches didn't really like me because I was a bad team player. You know, looking back, you know, those things kind of shape why you feel the way you feel about yourself. Like I would feel like I'm a bad person. Well, I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was growing up. My mom raised me as a Christian, but as I was growing up, there was so many weird Christians that I came across that was just like, I don't think I want to be a Christian. Yeah. You know?
I believe in God. I believe that Jesus died for my sins.
I think that God is the only one keeping me sane right now.
Like, I'm a Christian, you know, I believe in God. I believe that, you know, Jesus died on the cross for my sins. I believe that, you know, that, you know, I have a relationship with him. I'm able to talk to him, and really, he's the reason I'm here, so I definitely have to, you know, remember that. And, you know, as soon as I start forgetting, you know, I gotta, like, click back and be like, you know, this is why I'm here.
Dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for this tea, and thank you so much for my dancers, and thank you so much for my backup singers.
You have quite firm family values, don't you, and Christian values as well.
I'm Christian. I believe that, you know, Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and it helps me stay grounded, being able to, you know, pray and stuff, and keep that more important than anything else. Because if you start taking yourself more seriously than you do God, then there's a problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. No, thank you that we have great friends. We're able to hang out together and have a good time.
Dad, I have God in my life, and he's probably the number one reason I'm here. And without God, I don't know what I would do. So he keeps me home.
Right. I just didn't know what the heck was going on, and so I really took a deep dive in my faith, to be honest. I just went deep into, like, I believed in Jesus, but I never really, like, you know, when it says following Jesus is actually turning away from sin, and so there's no, what it talks about in the Bible, it's like there's no obedience, there's no faith without obedience. So it's like I had faith about, like, oh, I believe Jesus died on the cross for me, but I never really implemented it into my life. I never, like, was like, I'm gonna be obedient.
When this baby girl fell 30 feet, she hit her head just right, and it didn't kill her, and it didn't paralyze her. It healed her.
Oh, I heard about this. This Pureflix. It's like a Christian Netflix. I heard about that. Might have to tab in.
All right, the first case this afternoon is Justin Bieber. Mr. Bieber, you are charged with the following: DUI, alcohol or drugs, resisting without violence, and driving with an expired driver's license. And who is representing the state and who's representing the defense in this case?
Now Justin Bieber's feeling the stress. His week has been marred by hospitalization and a blow-up with the paparazzi. The larger-than-life 19-year-old's finding out supersized fame comes with supersized baggage.
New trouble for Justin Bieber. Police swarming all over his mansion looking for evidence that Bieber egged his neighbor's house.
Fans are freaking out that Justin Bieber is back on meth. The concerning part is that throughout the video, Justin is uncontrollably shaking and appears to be on some heavy drugs.
Justin Bieber is speaking out after being accused of sexually assaulting a woman back in 2014.
Do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction? Do you feel that you were on a...
Wait, what do you mean? What they doing on Pureflix? What's going on? What they trying to do? We're in this together. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he was charged for, but I remember that, like, that picture of him. I remember that. But when they said he was on meth, I'm like, meth? I don't remember all that. That's all right, man. You can never go too far to come back home. Just lock back in, Justin. Lock back in. It's all good. It's all good. Like talking about economic war with China and pro-life stuff. Like, I don't agree. I mean, the pro-life stuff makes sense if it's a Christian network. That makes sense. But the economic war, I don't know about all that. What that got to do with being a Christian? I can see how politics can mix with religion. I know YouTube channels do that. It's so irritating. Yeah, like me, I feel like, you know, like I stand on what I stand on, but every word that comes out of my mouth doesn't have to be related to that. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like I got something to say, I'm going to say it. Or if somebody asks me something, I'm going to answer it. But I want to save my music for that kind of, you know. I want this to just be hanging with the homies. You know what I mean? Because, like, I used to watch the Hodge twins. I don't know if y'all know who they are, but I used to watch the Hodge twins. And, you know, they came out as Trump supporters, and I didn't really care. As long as they were still going to make me laugh, I don't care. But it got to a point where their whole thing was, like, politics. Like, even in the videos not relating to politics, it was just so filled with it. I'm like, I mean, whatever. It's just not for me at that point. It's like they're making stuff that's not even about that all the time, and their whole setup became like political, and it was just drenched in it, and it was like, I mean, I guess. I was speaking of yeah, exactly. I see what you mean. Hey, Daniel, what were they talking about in the pro-life discussion that you didn't agree with? Because I have a very interesting thought about this now, and it's different from the one that I had then. So I want to know what you don't like about it. Then I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it now. That's how my church that I used to attend regularly became. Every other sermon was about how you need to vote for Trump, so I don't go anymore. That's crazy. But yeah, I want to know that. Because I'm going to tell y'all my new take on it. And it's different from the one that I originally had when all of that stuff happened. And I want to see how y'all feel about this perspective. There's misrepresentation of how exactly the abortion process went. They made it seem like people are being forced to get abortions when that's not the case at all. In the movies, that's strange. I mean, nobody's forced to get it. It's actually quite the opposite. But so here's my current take. So when all that stuff happened, when they made it illegal to do, essentially, in most of the United States, when politics mix with religion, I feel like the political aspect is prioritized over religion, or religion is used as a weapon to justify their political views. So when all of that first happened, I was like, dang, so not only are they making a law, but they're not even gonna make a loophole for people who are abused or nothing like that. Like, because I believe in, you reap what you sow. So if you going around having sex with this person and that person and you get pregnant, I believe in, laying in the bed that you made. That's what I believe in. But if something happened to you, then it's like, wait a minute, so like there's no loophole for that, nothing. So weaponize Christianity for their own benefit. So I'm like, dang, that's cold. So to me, I don't think there should be any law. I've always thought that there should be no law because God gave us free will, and who are we to take away that free will? That's how I feel about it. Certain things are a little different. Like if you're a mass murderer, then yeah, you got to be arrested because you're causing harm to the population. But that, like if you found out somebody was, that's not a good example, but I feel like there should be no law against that because we have free will. If that's what you decide to do, that's what you decide to do. And the thought that I had originally, the viewpoint I had originally was like I said, I don't believe in, making a mess and not dealing with those consequences. So if you're going around having sex with whoever and you get pregnant, I think you should, that's on you. Don't run now because of, the bad thing. This is supposed to be a free country, facts. So where was I? okay, so yeah, make your bed and you lay in it, but if something happens, then I understand. I was watching this TikTok, and this lady said that her daughter had a vision, or it was a dream or a vision of Jesus taking her to heaven. And the girl said a bunch of stuff, heaven's like this, heaven's like that, Jesus is like this, he's like that. And then she said, Mommy, do you know I have a sister in heaven? And she was like, no, you don't have no sister. What are you talking about? And then she remembered that she had aborted a baby in the past. And that's when she realized, like, oh, that baby, if what my daughter says is true, then that baby lives in heaven. That baby's not just non-existent. That baby lives in heaven. So what I think now is that if that's true, like let's for the sake of this perspective, if that's true, then I understand what people are saying now, because people view, no matter, like, even if it's 1 week old or the youngest it can be, that they say it's still a life, right? And if that's the case, then that's true, right? Because if they in heaven, then that's life. So now, if you believe that, it's like, well, dang. So again, if something happens to you and you think that, it's like you're not gonna want to do it, but you might still do it. So it's like, I don't know. It's just really up to you, I guess. But here's what made it make more sense to me. People do stuff to us all the time. I know it's not as extreme as assault, so I'm not trying to compare like assault to somebody being mean to you or whatever, but people sin against us all the time. But that shouldn't mean that we should then sin against someone else because of the pain of another sin. You know what I'm saying? If someone sins against me, I shouldn't then sin against someone else. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody does something to you, I understand why you want to get rid of the baby, because it's traumatizing. Every day you look at that baby, you're going to know how you got that baby and blank, 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 right? I totally agree. But at that point, you're making the decision on that baby's life. Because just like how you didn't deserve to have that happen to you, that baby doesn't deserve to not live. Because who knows who that baby could have been. That baby could have been somebody who would have been an advocate for situations like this and possibly got the ruling overturned. That baby could have been somebody who brought thousands of souls to the kingdom. That baby could have been this and could have been that. Even if it's not that grand of an example, that baby would have been something. And now it's too late. So it's like, dang. So when I started thinking about it like that, it's like, either way, there should be no ruling. Like I said, free will. It should be no ruling whatsoever, in my opinion. But when I thought about it from that perspective, it's like, I get where everybody's coming from, but the ruling is just not it. Like, that's not it. It should always come down to the free will, because that's what God gave us, rightfully so. And if those people don't want abortions, then they don't have to get one. Simple. Don't dictate how other people should live. Right. I believe God, though, ultimately knows each of our plans. If that baby wasn't meant to be born, then it's not meant to be born. What do you mean by that? Because what you just said sounds more like a miscarriage situation. Like, Because if you abort a child, that's you taking control into your own hands. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a, it wasn't meant to be situation. That's a, you ended that situation. So I don't understand what you're saying right there. But the basis of everything that I said is that we shouldn't try to cover sin with sin. That's the basis. Even though it's hard. People, like, for example, like, look what happened to Jesus. You know, Jesus got, you know what happened to him. He got whipped and nailed and all of that. He didn't fight those people. He didn't, you know, he took their sins head on, and it was what it was. I guess that's a little different example because that had to happen due to prophecy and due to, it was much more at stake, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, everyone does not have the same values or religion, so it's really up to the person rather than the government choosing. Yeah. What I mean is we have free will, but God already knows what decisions we're gonna make ahead of time. But like, what are you saying? Like, I understand what you just said, but what are you saying? Oh, so you saying like, I think I know what you're saying. So pretty much you like everything is predestined. So he already knew that if that person did something to you, you was gonna get pregnant and then you was gonna abort the baby. That's what you're saying. So it's already. I think that's what you're saying. Okay. See, I believe that this is what I believe. I believe that God plans out. I believe that God has his plans and he acts accordingly to his plan. And it's up to us to be obedient. And I think that when we're disobedient, we're pausing the plan and disrupting the plan. And then God has to, okay, well, you did this, so now I gotta not reroute because it's the same route, but now I have to make I have to kind of add something to get you back on course because you got off the course. You know what I'm saying? So he has to pull you back in. I don't think his plan ever changes, but I think that we can pause it and interrupt it by our disobedience. Because I feel like why even have free will if everything was truly just like every move and sound I made was predestined, we don't really have free will then, right? Because it was already written. I think we have free will. Truly. But God has his plans. He knows what he wants for you. And he knows what you want. But you have to listen to him before he listens to you. So you have to be obedient to him in order for him to, you know, give you what you desire. Because he knows what you want already. But you got to do what he wants first. He knows I wants to make music, but I got to listen to him. He knows I wants to do YouTube, but I got to listen to him and do it his way because his way is going to be far superior to my way. But I do believe that we can interrupt that and we can, you know, pause that. You know what I mean? But he going to always get you back on track. Like, look, I know you drove off, but just like on Mario Kart, when you drive off the road, the little thing picks you back up and puts you back on the road. I think it's the same way. And also at that point, if everything was predestined to each movement and each breath, then yeah, like nothing would matter, I feel like. Because then, like, I don't know. I feel like nothing would matter if that was the case. Because then we're not really in control of anything. If our whole if every move we made was already predestined, it's like, well, what are we doing, you know? That's an interesting point on free will. For me, I just feel everything is intertwined and predestined. Like I said, I agree with you. I just don't think that like every move is, you know, like, you know what I mean? I believe that he has a path for you, and that path will be fulfilled according to your obedience. So a lot of people are not living their path correctly. Jesus be like, look, I know you tripping, so let me do something real quick. That's what I think. I think, you know, I do believe that, you know, he works on people, you know, layer by layer. So he might allow you to, you know, do some things because he knows what he's doing for your life. He knows he's working on you, and he knows he's eventually going to get to you. But I do believe that we slow down that process, and we you know, we can interrupt that. That's all. I'm gonna just keep saying the same thing, because it's free will. If that's true, we don't have free will. And what would be the point in following God if he already knew that he was going to take you to heaven? So that means that I would, if everything is written, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like Jesus knew Judas would betray him, but he still had free will, you know? We really deep diving tonight. You know, it's funny, I just read that, I think yesterday. And, but here's the thing, Judas, because Jesus said, one of you are going to betray me. And everybody was asking, is it me? Is it me? And then Judas said, is it me? He said, yeah, it's you. And he was like, so, like, he was gonna, like, that to me that's a weird situation, because if Jesus called you out, how did you still do it? Like, that to me is crazy. But I guess I know what you're saying, though. You're saying, like, he knew he was gonna sin, essentially, right? That's an interesting point. Interesting point. I feel like that is kind of a different situation, only because Jesus was prophesied. Like, his whole thing that he had to do had to happen exact. So perhaps that situation might have been more, I don't know. That's the interest. I feel like it's hard to compare, but I get what you're saying. I feel like that's a good example. Even he did the same thing to what's his name too? Was it Peter? Didn't he tell Peter, yo, you're gonna deny me 3 times before the rooster crows, or something like that? I think he told him the same thing, and Peter was like, I would never do that. I would never do that. Because in Peter's mind, he was thinking by denying Jesus, he was going to not believe in him. But that's not what Jesus said. He said, you're going to deny me 3 times. And then later, I think it was the same day or it was the same time. And Jesus was, they had caught Jesus or whatever. Not caught him, but, you know, they was arresting him and stuff. And a lady walked by and said, weren't you with him earlier? Weren't you with him? And he was like, nah, I don't know him. I wasn't with him. Because if he would have said yeah, then he would have gotten in trouble too and got the same punishment. Right, proceeds to lie about knowing Jesus. So in his mind, he was like, no, I would never not believe in you, but that's not what he said. He said, you're going to deny me. And that story is major because a lot of people are like that, you know. Are you willing to die about it? That's why you see a lot of people that do crimes and stuff, they go in there and snitch on each other because they're not really about it. Are you all in or are you not? So that's an interesting point. But okay, let's say that is true, then why? So do you believe that every person is already decided if they're going to go to heaven or hell? Is that already, that's already done? But I feel like you would have to believe that if that's your viewpoint, you would have to believe that too. But if that's true, then what would be the point of following anything if you know, if you're already written and it's unchangeable, then it's like, what's the point of even, what's the point of anybody being obedient if it's already predestined? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird concept. I feel like I had a valid point. I feel like you had a valid point. So, I don't know, man. All I know is I'm going to just be obedient. Because I think it's so much that we can't comprehend with our human minds. And maybe that's one of them. And we just need to focus on what we can comprehend. And that's just staying away from sin and getting close to God and accepting Jesus. Let's just do what we know, and then we're going to be all right. I think so, yes. But when I think of people who have still yet to believe in Jesus, I don't know. But maybe there is more to it than we know. I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's interesting. The Judas thing is crazy. He literally told him, because Judas was already going to do it. And Jesus just exposed him. And then he was like, yeah, I'm still going to do it. So, but then after he regretted it, I'm like, don't regret. Like, that to me didn't make sense. How can you know what you're doing is wrong? I mean, I guess that's how people operate. I feel like I can't find the words to, I don't know. It's too much to think about right now. But he did call him out, and he called out Peter. Well, he really called out everything. He said he knew he was going to die. He knew he knew everything. But here's the difference between, like, he knew that the people of Jerusalem was going to not like him. They was going to kill him, and they was going to do that and do that. But he didn't tell them that. The fact that he told Judas what he was going to do, and he told Peter what he was going to do, like, that to me is the crazy part. It almost makes you believe that everything is predestined, because it's like, wait a minute. Like, if it was just the Peter situation, I would still stand on what I said. But the Judas situation it wasn't any type of trickery. He literally said, there is no if or ands. I mean, unless you look at it like this, maybe Judas didn't realize that Jesus was going to die because of his decision. So maybe he actually did like Jesus. He just wanted some money right quick and figured, hey, I'm going to get some money and then Jesus is going to be all right because he's Jesus. He didn't realize that his decision would ultimately lead him to be arrested, which ultimately led him to his death. So maybe he didn't think about it that far. I don't know, man. That's crazy. Maybe if Judas had listened to God and changed his mind, then Jesus would have died another way on the cross. I mean, but I don't. You know what? I don't know. One of the other stories that kind of reminds me of that is, well, not reminds me, but kind of makes me think that that could possibly be true, is Jesus was walking with his followers, and this lady came up to him and was like, Jesus, I forgot what she asked for, but I think she asked for healing. Let's just say she asked for healing. She asked to be healed, and Jesus said, he said something like, I can't take from my, basically I can't feed like scraps to the dog or something, because I think she was from somewhere else. And he said something crazy like that, like, I can't feed scraps to the dogs or whatever. And she was like, Jesus, that's correct, but even the dogs eat the scraps that fall off the table from the humans. Or like, you know how, because when you're eating, sometimes you drop some on the floor and you let your dog eat it. She had basically said that to him, and he was like, you're right, your faith is strong, I will heal you. I was like, so I was confused. I'm like, wait, so Jesus was like, no, I'm not healing you because you're not really with it for real. And she was like, no, but even like she I don't want to say she like battled him or nothing, but she stood on it. And he was like, you got it. I was like, what? So I don't know, man. And I must admit, I can't lie, the Lady Gaga song Judas Be Slapping, hey, you got that. What's up with your post, guy? I see you. I think he did know he was going to die. Judas knew that Jesus was going to die. Probably. Honestly, it's hard to remember detail by detail, but I mean, I feel like he should have known because Jesus was talking about it. He probably knew. You're right. I'm only on for 5 minutes. I'm just speculating. LOL, only Jesus knows. The deepest Gnostic truth is that Jesus is the son of Lucifer. Hey, I don't know about all that. Maybe he was waiting for her to defend herself as like a test for her to see if she would do something if he said that. Possibly, that makes sense actually. Like, he was testing her faith. Like, are you, like, you know, I'll give it to you, but I mean, I don't know if you really, you know, maybe. Because sometimes, you know, he got to see if we're ready to receive our blessings. Because sometimes if you receive your blessings too early, you might waste it, or you might ruin it, or you might use it for evil. So maybe. Maybe. Because there are prophecies. That's why I feel everything is predetermined. But that still holds weight to the fact that, you know, God has a plan. The thing that we were talking about is the thing that I brought up was if we can deter that plan, or not deter it, but get in our own way pretty much of the plan. Not that the plan stops, but we have the free will to follow the plan or deny the plan, you know? I can't find the right words to say, but I still feel like I believe that. Like, I have the free will right now to just do anything I want right now, but I'm not because I don't want to. But now that I don't want to, and I know that I would never give up on God, technically, I don't know, like, it's a crazy concept. Or who's to say they just wrote the story after the fact and then called it a prophecy? I don't know. You know, I think that's something that people talk about often. Like, oh, well, you know, all the stories are written after the fact, and this is what I pay attention to. I pay attention to the way the world is, how people respond to Jesus in the world. Like, Jesus gets the least amount of respect out of all of these other religious figures. They respect Jesus the least. They, like, it's just so much pointing to it. You know what I mean? And then when you actually just give your life to him, he shows you that he's there. Like that one time we got the $100 donation on stream right after talking about fear of views and fear of fear of views and all of that stuff that somebody had brought up. I feel like he lets it be known that he's in your life when you allow him to. Consistently, anyway. Because sometimes he'll pop in even when you didn't ask him to, because he knows that eventually you will come to him, which would, I guess, make it predetermined. I don't know, man. Maybe certain aspects of your life can be predetermined, but our free will can still exist. You know what? I guess that's a meet in the middle type of scenario. And honestly, maybe. Like, I have free will in whether I want to eat pizza or chicken today. Those decisions aren't going to lead me to, maybe. I don't know, man. I have no idea. And like I told y'all before, another thing that makes me just truly believe more now than ever is just look into the world, man. Look at all the music that we was listening to on stream. Like, all of the movies we watch. Everything is so infatuated with either the devil directly or just so much sin and so much... Everything the world is doing opposes the Bible. So it's like... You know what I mean? It's like something's happening. Something is happening. I think we could at least start there and agree on that. Something is happening, and we cannot govern ourselves. No matter who the smartest person in the world is, no matter who the president is, no matter who's who, we cannot govern ourselves as a society amongst the world. We just can't. We can't. It has not worked out. Ever. It has never worked out. As far as the whole world being on one accord and everybody being nice to each other and everybody being... It can never work out. There must be. You know what I mean? I feel like it can be neither or, but since... either or. But since I don't have an answer, I'll just leave it alone. Yeah, all I know is I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. That's all I know. But it is interesting to talk about. You said from the channel Rod Henry. Yeah, I'm definitely not pulling up nothing that's talking about that. You got it. You got it. You got it. I don't wanna. Let me pull the screen back up. We're probably not going to even finish that video. We've been talking so long now. But that's why I want to, get through all of the Bible so I can fully have answers for certain things or fully have understanding And I'm going to get there, but it takes time. I'm just talking about what I know, what I've read so far. Some religious YouTube channels scare me because they be twisting stuff and making stuff up, and it's crazy. And sometimes we yeah, I think that's why it's important to read it for yourself. Because, yeah, it's great to go to church and listen to the pastor, and it's great to watch TikToks and Instagrams, but I think you got to read it for yourself, because then you'll know. Because you always have a lot of questions like, wait a minute, I saw that person on TikTok say this, but then this person on Instagram said this, and now it's conflicting. And it's like, wait, what's the truth? And then if you never read the Bible, you don't never know the truth. I think as it comes to America, part of the disrespect for Jesus comes from years and years of bad people weaponizing the Bible, and people have a gut reaction to go against it. Perhaps. But that's why you got to get in there and read it for yourself. Because when people think of Jesus, they think of, oh, that's the person that this person used to do this to me, or that's the person that claimed the Bible said this and then did this to me. And that's why we have to truly, if you're going to say you believe in God, show it. If you're going to say that you follow Jesus, show it. You know, don't just say it and then start acting crazy. Like, you got to show it. So when people see you, they like, oh, so that's what it really looks like to be following God? Because I saw this other guy, and he made me turn away from the Lord. And you know what I mean? They think of condemnation and not of love, and it's sad. I mean, people, they think of all the stuff. They know that if they go that way, they're going to have to give up so much stuff, so much sin, and they don't want to do that, so they don't want to even look at it, because they know, like, they're gonna have to just give up so much, and that people are not willing to do that. But I'll tell you what, man, nothing on this earth is good enough to trade your soul for. I think that's why they call it selling your soul, because it's not that you make a contract binding with the devil. It's that you turn away from God. That's selling your soul, essentially. You're selling it to the world. Like, I choose the world over the kingdom. Man, y'all can have all this. Y'all can have it all. Because really, it's not going to matter. If you end up in eternal damnation, you're not going to be thinking about all the fun times you had and all the memories you have and all the people you had sex with and all the people. You're not going to be thinking about that, at least not in a good way. You might be thinking about it in a way like, I wish I hadn't done that. But you're not going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be so minuscule, especially even if you grow to be 100 years old. What's 100 years to an eternity? You know what I mean? What's 100 years of sinful living to an eternity of punishment for it? It's nothing. It'll be like you never even lived. It ain't worth it. And then what we want to do is we want to take from the Bible and then create our own version of it in reality, and that's what we need to stop doing. Just because something might not seem as bad as the next thing doesn't mean it's still not a sin. The Bible clearly says that, God doesn't see sin above any other sin, as far as, the rules that we follow, because there is one unforgivable sin, but it's not because it's above the rest, but it's because if you do it, then you give everything up and it don't matter. The unforgivable sin is to deny Christ. Because if you do that, then you don't follow any of the other rules. So that's what makes it the unforgivable. Not because it's listed as number one, but because it's, well, if you do that, then you're not going to do the other stuff, so it don't even matter. But other than that, there is no, like, oh, well, at least I wasn't a murderer, or at least I wouldn't have, you was something. We're all something. We all should be doing our best to turn away from sin. And a lot of us just aren't. A lot of us have sins that we consider small. Well, at least I'm not hurting nobody, or at least I'm not. Stop making excuses. Give up all of your sin. You're not going to be perfect. I understand that. I'm not perfect. But you got to try, man. You know what I mean? Like, the reason for his forgiveness is that when you fall short, he won't forget about you. He won't give up on you. He's going to get you back up and you're going to lock back in. But you got to give it a real effort. And be serious about it. I had done that for so long, I was making excuses for what I considered little sin. Like, well, at least I'm not doing this and doing that. You're doing something. We got to start being for real. And we got to stop thinking that, well, I'm only 20-something years old, so I'll get right when I'm 40-something or 50-something. Everybody don't have 40-something or 50-something. Your last day might be today. And that's real life. But I would rather go today and know that I'll be in heaven than to put it off for 30 years and then end up in hell. Because that's our end goal anyway, right? Is to be in the kingdom. So whether you go early or you go late, I'm trying to get to the kingdom. Now, I would like to stay here as long as possible to, guide my brothers and sisters and myself, to the kingdom and just, live. But, I mean, whatever God want to do, I'm with it. Because he knows better than what I know. We're in this together. Oh, man. All right. Y'all can say something now. I said it all. Y'all can say something. Yeah, I feel like we don't even need to finish that video. We get the gist of it. My personal views on what is sin. Wait. My personal views on what is sin and not have been complicated. Oh, I think you meant to say your view on sin is not complicated. Okay. Like being gay, I don't see that as a sin. In actuality, it was a mistranslation of the verse, but I have trouble seeing what's sin and not. I mean, whatever he says not to do. Because I remember you said that the last time that it was a mistranslation, and I looked into that, and let's say that one verse was mistranslated, right? There's plenty of verses that allude to that, so it's not just that one verse. So I ruled that out of my mind. Plus, even if we think about it, we could just think about it from the beginning. God made Adam, and God made Eve to assist Adam. Well, not assist, I don't want to make it sound like, but to accompany Adam. That's it. To me, that's it. And like I said, there's plenty of other verses that allude to that. So it wasn't just the one. But again, that's another one that we have decided to take upon ourselves and consider it not a sin because we don't understand why it's a sin. Well, if you were born that way, then why? This is how I look at it. Just like people are born gay, people are born liars, people are born with lust, people are born with murder on their mind, we're all born with some kind of sin, a sin that appears to be stronger than the rest. Like it's easy for us to put this down and put that down, but when it comes to that one thing, it's like I can't put that one down. That's a tough one. But being gay isn't a choice, and isn't sin a choice. Here's what I say about that. Being gay means what? Being gay means to be attracted to the same sex. That's all that being gay means. So it is not a sin to feel that way. The sin comes when you act out those things. For example, I might feel like slapping my boss in the face, but the sin comes from my action. Am I going to slap him in his face or am I not? I'm not. Well, okay, we good. I might want to. I might want to sleep with every girl I see that I think is beautiful, but do I? You know what I mean? So that's how because it doesn't say thou shalt not have feelings for it. Don't say all that. It literally says you shall not lay, you shall not be. Like it's the physical that's the problem. It's not that you feel that way. It's the physical. It's the action. The Bible says you will be able to tell if a person is righteous by their fruit, which means what they do and what they say in their actions. It's the action of everything. Because we can't really control our thoughts. There's so many thoughts that just... Sometimes when I'm at the store, I think, what if I just smack the cashier right now? Like, what would happen? Like, you just think random stuff like that. But you don't act on it. And that one is is no different. But we take it and say, well, it's not hurting nobody, so that's when we take things and start leaning on our own understanding. We're not supposed to lean on our own just because we might not understand the big deal of it. Well, what's the big deal? Let people just... If God forbid it numerous times, it's a big deal. He forbid all the sins numerous times, so it's a big deal. Because at that point, you're just giving into sin. Like, well, again, like I said, well, at least I'm not a murderer. At least I'm not this. I just do this. We're not supposed to just give in to our sins. But I promise you, I understand where you're coming from. I promise you that, I feel the same way to this day. Like, I feel like if two people like each other, I mean, they ain't doing nothing to me. I don't care. It's okay. It's normal that we view things that way because it's our own understanding. I agree with you. I feel like, hey, it ain't hurting me. I don't care. But there's a reason for it. So just because I don't think it's that doesn't mean it's not that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on your side. Don't think I'm fighting you. I'm on your side, but I mean, that's what it say. Like, you know what I mean? We got to start being for real. We can't, and that's why people get mad at us because we pick and choose. We all do it. You know what I mean? And then we have to pull ourselves back in. We all pick and choose based on our own understanding, and that's when we look like hypocrites because it's like, well, if you said you believe in the Bible, so how come? And all I can say is you right. You called me out. You right. I got to do better. We all got to do better. And that's a tough one too, because like what happens after that, right? Like if you're gay, what do you do after that? I would just pray that, and you know, God has the power to heal, so I understand what you mean, but I just don't agree that it clearly states homosexuality is a sin. We can get to it right now. And I'm gonna avoid that one that we already discussed, because you said it was mistranslated. So let's go with that. I mean, even the one that you said was mistranslated, because it doesn't just say for a man to lie with another man. It says for a man to lie with another man as he would with a woman. So alluding to the fact that we are not to replace the woman with another man. But let's just leave that one alone for the sake of the translation. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's kind of the same thing. Even the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, they was ganging up on people and forcing themselves upon people. It was all men. All the men were ganging up on men and forcing themselves upon the men. Whenever the angels had went to I forgot whose house they went to. The angels came down and went to somebody's house, and the men said, "Let us in your house so we can have sex with the angels." And he was like, "No." He was like, take my daughters." They said, "No, we don't want the daughters. We want them." You know, I'm like, but then you might could say, "Oh well, it wasn't because it was homosexual. It was because they was raping people." Okay. I'm not saying that you was gonna say that, but some people might say that. Even I thought that. So let's find another one. And by the way, the fact that he tried to give up his daughters, that was crazy. Whoever that was, I forget who that was. I think it was Lot. I want to say it was Lot. I think that is clearly. But why can't two things be true? I mean, it's just. This one also says the same thing about men and women, but because how could it be? Never mind, I'm not gonna get into it. Okay, here's another one. It says, "But from the beginning of creation." Well, let me finish reading it for her. Okay. "But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two but one. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate." So that's another one. God made them male and female. Therefore, a man shall leave his parents and get a wife. I bet. So yeah, I don't know what else needs to be said. And I know this is, well, you said you're gonna be right back, but I'm gonna talk to everybody else. And I know that's easy for me to say because I don't have those feelings, but I mean, we gotta be for real. There's other feelings that I do have that I wish I can find a loophole for, and I have not. I gotta be for real. I'm not gonna get into it, but we all have that. We all have sins that we wish weren't sins. We just gotta be for real. We just gotta be for real. Hold on. Marrying this together. I think two things can definitely be true. Went to get a sandwich, what I miss? It depends on how long ago you went to get a sandwich. What was the last thing you heard? Oh. Well, all the comments are here, so I'm sure you can assume what we discussed. If you don't remember the last thing. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, we were still talking about the same thing. I just pulled up scriptures relating to the subject. And I think Daniel was going to stand on that is a translation error. Like I said, I'm on his side. I want to believe that we all have sins that we want to believe aren't sins. But, like, don't we all wish we had a loophole for our sin? But, I mean, we got to be for real. We got to be for real. Because whenever we face God, He's not going to say, good job for finding that loophole. He's going to say, I told you numerous times that, you know, we got to be for real. We got to be honest. And it's not just that. We all have things, like I said, so I don't want nobody to feel like I'm attacking that community or nothing. Like, we all, it's with everything. We all wish that we can just say, you know, this isn't that. To me, just based on the fact that God made Adam and Eve is enough for me. He didn't make Adam and Jim or Eve and Tori. He made Adam and Eve. To me, that's enough. That you don't even have to go no further. But I understand if you do. To me, that's enough. But I digress. Either way, I think we all should just read it for ourselves. You know, despite everything that I'm saying, we should all read it for ourselves. Yeah, I see what you're saying. We just got to be for real. about everything. Because you don't want to, talk yourself into doing something and then you live your whole life hanging on to that sin, and then when you face God, you know what I mean? He gonna be like, look, I already told you a bunch of times that I showed you multiple signs that, what else you want me to say? I told you. Like, it ain't worth even testing, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's a possibility, I think everybody should pray on it. I think everybody should, first of all, if you're not dealing with a specific sin, then it wouldn't, I guess it don't even matter. But if you're dealing with something personally, pray on it. If you honestly feel like it's not a sin to do something, pray on it. He's going to show you. Even though there's multiple scriptures that might allude to whatever you're in search for, maybe you need a little extra more teaching. So he'll show you something. Yeah, like why risk it? Yeah. Like, it ain't even worth the loophole that you might have thought you found. It ain't even worth it. Yeah, I digress from that whole thing. I digress. You got something you want to talk about? I feel like I'm all out of topics. We've been on for an hour and a half. I feel like I'm all out of topics. And I feel like also next stream, I might come with topics prepared. At least just in case. Like, just in case, something. Like, I might come with topics prepared next time. Like, I knew I wanted to talk about Justin Bieber. I knew I wanted to say that. Because I thought it was interesting. You don't got nothing? Yeah, I'm going to start coming with topics prepared. But this was a cool stream, I didn't really expect to get into, everything. But, I mean, hey, we just like, I don't know if this qualifies as positivity corner. It wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to turn this way, but I mean, it's just where it went. I don't know. I guess I brought it up because I brought up Justin, but I was just trying to stick to the music. I don't know. I don't even remember what happened, but it happened, so it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let me end this recording. It was a nice stream. Well, thank you. So let me go ahead and do oh, you back? I was just about to end the stream, about to say our prayer. And we about to unless you got something more to say. I mean, you got another topic you want to chime in on, or anything to add to the previous topic? You got anything else you want to speak on? I was about to wrap it up. But since you were gone, I basically digressed from everything that I said and said that no matter what, we should all just read everything for ourselves. Like, not that in particular, but that's why I'm just trying to read the Bible myself, because there's a lot of things you hear on TikTok and you hear on Instagram, and it's like, I don't know what's true, so let me just read it myself. So unless you want to freestyle, definitely not that. Oh, because I said wrap it up. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the prayer outro. Yeah, let's do that right quick. Lord God, thank you for this stream. Thank you for keeping the internet strong. Thank you for guiding these people here today. I pray that we all walk away better than we entered. I pray that we all sleep well tonight. I rebuke any demons trying to steal sleep from us, steal energy from us, infiltrate our dreams and our minds and just make us restless. I rebuke them, Lord. They don't belong in this house. They don't belong in Melissa's house, Daniel's house, anybody's house Polsky's house, anybody's house who showed their face in this stream tonight, Dan's house, they don't belong there. I rebuke them in the name of Jesus. I pray that tomorrow is a good day for us. We learn, we love, we grow in the name of Jesus. Amen. All right. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I was telling Melissa, I don't know if this qualifies as a positivity corner. I mean, we was just talking that talk, but it is what it is. We all still love each other, so it is positive. We all still love each other. We can just agree to disagree about anything. You know, we all still love each other. We are still brothers and sisters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So yeah, love y'all. I'm going to stream. What I'm going to stream? Let me try to figure that out now. So I work tomorrow and my schedule comes out tomorrow. So honestly, I don't know what's going on beyond tomorrow. So, hey, that's the update. But I'm going to catch y'all. I'm going to let y'all know in the Discord for sure whenever I know. All right, I'm out.